Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745, and we are in the midst of fighting in Spain. And we now have this panzer unit here, which is reorganizing. And hey, if you're new here, smash the like button. And if you've been around a long time but haven't already, please lick the like button. It really does help. YouTube likes algorithmic stuff. And I do feel that I have a mission. No, not a mission from God or anything like that cool, but you know, there's more than just fun and enjoyment with my videos. I really try to teach historical lessons. And that's not meaning lessons from history. Well, let's push into the city here with everyone else. But lessons from, you know, if you do something, this, you know, this will likely, you know, be the result. So, yes, historical facts are cool, are neat, love them. We need a lot more chromium. And so I'm all good with the idea of history lessons, but I also just love the idea of, let's get type 7s in production here. Let's now, this is one of the reasons why we did so much trading, is to find a trading partner. Who do we want to trade with for chromium? Let's see about doing Sweden here. And that should really help the time to completion. Now, some of these capital ships are going to take a while and use a lot of chromium, are going to go into 1940 and whatnot, but at least we can get through some of these a little earlier. But that is why, or one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons so much into getting, you have unfulfilled trade routes and free dockyards. You have just discounted trade. You're discounted trading with China. But we do have here. Oh, you're right. Okay. Well, let's cancel it. I didn't look far enough down to get to China. I stopped up here. Okay. So let's stop this. Yes, you're very right. I do. Let's see. Okay, one factory. Well, that still puts me at -3. Okay, how much? Let's see. How much longer until we get this guy, the Hipper, until 38? Okay, yeah, that may be the best thing to do. Keep more civilian factories. Hey, Beam Slam, how you doing, my friend? War is good? Well, war isn't good, but war may be better than the peace you'd have if you didn't fight the war, though. Okay, well, let's look at the supply situation. We're obviously overtaxing the supplies here. I guess maybe we need to just bash into Zaragoza, which I believe is a supply center. I wanted to surround and take it. Oh, wait, now get more stuff done. Good. So more submarines. We'll do type 9s here. Keep them going. Yes, we can see about better tanks at some point in the future. Just not really ready to produce those yet, though someday, yes. Good. If you want to build the Bismarck, you have to select it in the ship tab at the top of the production queue screen, like the tanks. Yeah, I don't have a strong plan on building big ships. I do see these things here, view historic, which, yeah, that'd be cool if I was going to build stuff, but I really don't want to. We'll get done with the Scharnhorst and Gneisenau and call it a day. Build more submarines, build more transports, maybe build a few more destroyers or something. Yeah, I just not. My plan with the Navy is avoidance. Avoid battle with other major naval powers. If it was purely, well, nothing is purely free, obviously. You'll say it was purely free, but it would be the choice. Is it better to have more submarines? Or is it better to have a few big ships? Even if I had the chromium and it wasn't costing me so... No, Arno, come on. I gotta play this sort of seriously. I know memes and whatnot, and you're going, hey, gamer, I want to be silly and do silly shit, but, let's be somewhat serious. You guys don't know how much I really want to have a good submarines or any. I think we're going to come back here and do magnetic detonators. Hopefully they'll work this time. I really want to have a good invasion of Russia set up and do that. When I've played seriously a few times, then we can do some mean, stupid shit if everything's still going. Okay, you just attacked, so let's join in the attack here and here. I know we're doing urban combat with tanks, but yes, we're going to start the second year, and we have that. Okay, researched. Okay, now this will allow us to do some tactics, and we can do 37s. So we'll do that to do this, because the other one won't. It just does that. Yeah, it was built. I'm not arguing whether it was built or not. I'm arguing that you shouldn't have built it in the first place. It's a silly thing for Germany to build. Take this one first. Okay, well, we have air cover, just they have fortifications and cities and whatnot, but we could still grind our way through this. And we backed off, how bad, okay. No, well, we're getting there. The Paris Universal Exhibition, that right there is the German pavilion. You can see the beige stone. It goes way high up here. It was designed by Albert Speer. Right directly across, you can't see over here, and this is a colorized photo, I believe. No, maybe it's original. They did do original color stuff. But right directly facing across is the big Soviet pavilion with that. So they were right across from each other. By French design, they stuck them across each other. Germany being silly. Arno is Dutch. Anything silly is good. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just explaining to him why he can't have what he wants. Egypt joins the League of Nations. You guys get back into the fight. Keep pushing on these guys. This is one war with more senseless naval power. Okay, yeah. All right, expand the labor front. That will get me a industry and technical thing, which we're going to now come over here in 37. Always do it as early as you can. Maybe we should have done it earlier in this, but at least do this now to get the computing done, and then we will see about doing the electronic. So if you're going to do something that makes research faster. Okay, and now we're going to do KDF wagon, since it'll dump us 3 more civilian factories in just 30 days. And we will continue to build a few more military factories, keep those going. Did you notice the pretty HE? Not particularly, no. Yeah, there we are. HE 111s, yes. I like the sort of the classic mid version or whatever, the HE 111s. I always thought they looked pretty. This version here, and you know, sort of on down, it just such nice lines. Where these are sort of clunky. I mean, they're decent aircraft, but they're sort of clunky looking. Okay, we've got lots more political power, and I know I've been encouraged to, but just distracted with many things. Okay, propaganda minister. We're back up pretty high on stability. 83%. Four civilian factories, though. Why 4? Yes. The movie industry is a big deal for Goebbels. That the movie industry as a whole, because you can make a lot of movies, and Goebbels, he understood subtle propaganda. Whenever you see this over-the-top propaganda, especially over-the-top negative propaganda, Goebbels had nothing to do with that. He thinks some of that is counterproductive. It gives sympathy to the, particularly like the racial minorities that these guys are trying to slam. I mean, he agrees with them in general, broad strokes, for sure. The racism and whatnot, but he wants to do it subtly. On the one hand, and I don't know if it was a personal thing or if it was a stylistic thing. He does not get along with Leni Riefenstahl, and you know, her sort of over-the-top dramatic. Now she didn't do negative propaganda, she did positive propaganda for the Nazis, you know, in Olympia and the movie that, and Triumph of the Will. But yeah, okay, so, but movie production, you know, you can reuse a lot of sets, you can make a lot of stuff that just shot around, and yeah, it's going to use some industry, but 4 industries is too much. Now, the other thing is, and it does, like, say, improve radio technologies, is the, Volkskamper, Volkskamper, or whatever, the People's Radio, that they produced. They sold those, though. I don't know if they were, government subsidized. And I don't know that... Okay, people. Economies are not zero-sum games. Meaning, we are trying to put this into a game situation here with civilian factories, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but building factories isn't always a command economy situation, or it's most often outside of the Soviet Union. It is not this, that centralized planning says put civilian factory wherever. And the resources, the capital, which can include things like construction equipment, definitely. isn't and labor definitely is not, a zero-sum game that you're taking away from some other project. Now, the reason that this doesn't send me up make me too upset is that we're looking at stuff coming out of government budgets, government funded, if you will. And so we have a bunch of, civilian economy, consumer goods, 34%, trade goods, 10%, or not 10%, 10 factories and 34 factories, not percent. And yes, there is an import-export dynamic going on with Germany. Germany has plenty of money. It has more than enough money. What it doesn't have is a lot of foreign money or gold and silver reserves, okay? And so, like I say, it has plenty of money, but a French company doesn't want to buy or doesn't want to sell stuff for Deutschmarks, okay? Because where's it going to spend the Deutschmarks? And unless it or some other company in France, because that wants to buy a bunch of things in Germany, and these are often, there's import-export laws, tariffs, whatever going on all this time. So unless there's some other company that they could trade that, trade the Deutschmarks for French francs, this is before the Euro people. The Euro is new, people. I know some of you are old and like me and know that Europe before Euro, but so yeah, they could, and in essence, go into the bank with the Deutschmarks and get out French francs because the bank knows that some other company wants to buy a bunch of German radios or something. But there wasn't a lot of demand for German products for multiple reasons. Some just resentment over the wars, but also various trade barriers and other things, as well as just a general continuing economic malaise. I don't know if it in every country here we would call it a depression in 1937. Definitely in America is a depression. I just don't know the level of the economic depression in some of these countries. I do believe some of them are, but I'm not an expert on everything. So they don't necessarily, there isn't a bunch of people wanting to buy, Mercedes-Benz automobiles, somewhere. A few rich people here and there and somewhere around are, but not enough to give Germany a good export economy. So Germany actually controls the amount of Deutschmarks that goes out to keep German money from inflating, meaning or making the value compared to other things go down or whatever, however you want to say it. Sort of convoluted there. But so it's foreign exchange is a problem, not domestic. Now, of course, as Germany shows that if you dump too much money into the economy, you create inflation, and if you dump even more money, you create hyperinflation. And it's learned that lesson. And this guy, Schacht, he knows that very well. And even though, and I sort of brought him back after firing him for running the Ministry of Economics, he did at this time, or roughly so, until the Czechoslovakia was taken fully, he's running the German Reichsbank. So he's sort of the guy controlling the money supply, as it were. And he of the German, we'll call it right wing people, he understands economies the best. So he knows sort of what he's doing. That's what I get from Schacht. And he's all for building up a strong Germany. He's just not all for round two of the world versus Germany. Let's see if Germany can do it this time. He's against that. So getting the Sudetenland, or definitely getting like Austria back in, pushing into Bohemia and Moravia, the core of Czechoslovakia, that's when he quits. That's when he quits, because he won't be party to pushing, for round two, Germany versus the world. But wanted to get the economy going strong, wanted to get national. He's not against armament spending or anything like that, but armament spending does not mean that we're going to go for the war. So yeah, you have plenty of money there for doing what you need to do, as long as you don't get too much inflation. So factories in Germany at this point in 1937, and this is why it's hard to sort of reverse engineer economies into the games, are not working at 100% standard capacity, as far as I can tell. I'm not talking about every single factory, every single place. I'm talking there's a bunch of factories that, oh, hey, we've got an order for 10 cranes, so we're building 10 cranes. Well, in a month, in 30 days or something. Well, how many cranes can you build? Well, we can build 30, but we only have an order for 10. And it's really not until Speer really gets in and starts organizing the economy and really puts it on a command economy focused on war efforts, do you really start to get full production. At this point in Germany in 1937, they're going, yeah, let's order 60 Panzer IIIs and we'll try them out and see how they work. And then we'll try them out for, a few months, drive them around. We'll give you feedback. And when we order the, next version, Oust A, Oust B, Oust whatever, we'll change it up. They're not saying we'll start building Oust A's, and then when we get enough feedback, just switch over to Oust B's, not knowing now what the Oust B is going to be, but once we know, we'll tell you. And they're not turning the factories on and going. And they eventually do, but they don't do that now. So like I say, these economies are zero-sum games. And yes, I totally agree with the idea that, and definitely as part of some of these down here, partial mobilization to going to, war economy and other things, or early mobilization, which would be next, I guess, here. Oh, no, it goes this way. So it's war economy. War economy would be next. That's going into beyond standard production levels, meaning going from one shift a day for, say, 8 hours or whatever the shift would be, to going to 2 shifts a day, and then going to work on the weekends, and just adding more shifts, so production out of the factory gets more as time goes on, out of the same factories. So these are not, entirely the same. So I'm totally fine with limiting how much we can build at any one time, but it's I don't know. It's just hard to figure out and work back. And hello, Dominic, gamer, you should try Darkest Hour mod. It's a historical mod with it. I've never tried Darkest Hour, and that might be an interesting thing to do sometime. You should try Daimler, Herschel, and Messerschmitt. Their bonuses will kick in after tech is researched. Okay. Socialist will fall. Recovered. Yeah, Germany recovered early compared to some of the other nations. Czech was a social democrat without much choice. I thought he was more of a conservative German element. Now, there are more socialism or more social welfare, that's a different term, than some of the Americans. Because I know he works with America as well in the 20s, visits America and whatnot before the Nazis come in. So, yeah. Ursher aren't all that left wing. Yeah, well, I know, but okay, so Daimler, Herschel, Messerschmitt. I think Messerschmitt might be a good one to go with. That will reduce production at least. So we'll kick in for that. Get that one going now. Oh, but yeah, so I just, and so, building and selling of radios, which actually, I see it as the civilian economy, but maybe you're kicking in, you know, and so if all, and I don't know, but if all of the production elements like the Bakelite, which is, early plastics, are made in Germany, if, the body for it, if all of the components in that radio are made in Germany, you don't have that foreign exchange element. And so I just don't see 4 factories. That to me seems like a lot. Like I say, maybe one for the film studio, and the radio broadcast system that he's supporting then does get stronger. Again, I just don't see it as an ongoing. If it was a temporary, like a national focus for 180 days, 4 factories or something like that, I'd grant you that. But two, so I'm just not looking at that. Let's see. We're not going to do conservative reform. No. Royalist reformer. No. Fascist demagogue. Political power gain. Daily fascism support. Fearmonger. Base stability's down. Staunch traditionalist. Yeah, but just 4 factories. Radio technology, political power bonus, recruitable population, weekly stability, weekly war support, daily. I mean, yeah, I don't. Or we could do the fascist demagogue. That's just getting us more political power and fascism support. I'm just leaving that free. I don't know. Maybe once the war starts, I don't know. I would not say most industries are nationalized. I don't get where even up until the end, even to the end of the war, I would say most. Now that's more and more central planning, yes, but nationalized, but only in the war. Now if it's just like here's these bonuses, yeah, great, but it just forget about these titles, but I don't get to where that is appropriate. Foreign investors banned. Now, I know there's very little contact between the Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice team and the Hearts of Iron 4 Black Ice team, and I believe if Panzeru was still heading up the Black Ice 4 team, would be much more historically correct. Because where in the hell do you get the idea that foreign investors are banned in Germany? Where in the hell do you get that? Can anyone show me one lick? I don't know if you guys have been posting stuff, and I'm ranting here, but I feel like ranting. One lick of evidence where foreign investors are banned. Now, in in Cologne, Germany, there is a massive Ford automobile plant, which is fully and wholly owned, completely owned by Ford of America. The corporation. I mean, there's a local Ford AG, a locally, constructed company to operate in Germany. And was it Opel that was owned by Chevrolet or something? There was one other car company owning another another brand in Germany, but didn't brand themselves. But Ford was its self-brand. I have photos. I don't own the magazines, but I have I have digital photos of the magazine, the company. Ford was highly liked by the Germans. They gave him a special medal, which I think only photographed wearing it when they gave it to him in 1937 or something. And to the best of my knowledge, yeah, once the war starts, they take over sort of quote unquote control of the factory, but all of the Ford products that are being made, Germany is paying them Deutschmarks for all of those Ford products during the whole of the war. And the big Ford factory gets some bomb damage, but I think it's mostly fine. Now, I don't, know what a bunch of Deutschmarks are going to do, or Reichsmarks, I should say, Reichsmarks. What a bunch of Reichsmarks are going to do for Ford after the war, either personally or that. I mean, he could burn them on fire. I mean, they're worthless. So all the money in the bank is worthless. It's not worth anything to Ford company. And there's damage to the factories, and so I would not say that Ford as a person or Ford as a company profit at the end of the war. Now, they would have profited had Germany won, though they might have lost money on the American side of the thing. So they never nationalized it. I mean, they sort of, tell them what to produce, shall we say, produce trucks for the army instead of passenger vehicles for the, civilian economy or something. It's working on a bit of a command economy, and Americans have been mostly removed, though I think it was mostly by this time, by 37, 38, is mostly German staff there. The Americans just sort of get it set up. The Germans know how to run a factory once the Americans teach them how to run an American-style factory, and my understanding is the Ford's factories are set up in American production styles, but Germans don't pay attention to it outside of the Ford factory, so they don't learn the lessons of American production. The Soviets learned the methods of American production, but the Germans don't. So yeah, and Ford would not have his factory set up in a way that wasn't going with that. Opel is part of GM. Okay, it's GM Starstreak. Thank you there. So, yeah, there was nationalization industry, but most of the stuff was handled via government. Absolutely, Tinky, big industry. Yeah, it's there's Reichswerk Hermann Goering, which is mostly a resource production or mining or refining industry that's government owned. I mean, he just has his name on it. And it's the Gustloff Works, named after the killed Nazi Swiss leader. And the Gustloff Works, again, are government controlled, but they are mostly like nationalized, and especially the oh boy, I'm blanking on the name. The one arms company they take over that had been Jewish businesses. So it's mostly things like that taking over, and then expanding some on their own as time goes on. So either specifically confiscated companies that are like rolled into Gustloff. It becomes a sort of a fairly large industrial thing. But yeah, it's not nationalized. Just working for the national. Yeah, and it's as time goes on, Opel and Ford were the biggest automakers in Germany, and both were American companies. Absolutely, as folk is saying, Opel is GM. Okay, it's GM. Yes, you guys are saying. Catching up there. Not getting the Latin from Sebastian. It's an option. You could nationalist ideology, synchronizing the economies like synchronizing watches. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't, so. Oh, so I shouldn't have to spend this. I'm just military factory construction speed down. See, research speed, weekly stability would be, well, no, it would be slightly not growing as much. Research efficiency would be down. Civilian current party is not liberal. Yeah, and I would say regulated would be the appropriate, not just tolerated, but regulated would be the appropriate level. So factory output would be 2% better. Construction speed would be 2% better. And this is what it should be from the beginning. Because and I I'm just picking on Ford and GM there because I know those. And they're major. The Opel Blitz truck is, I believe, the most produced truck for Germany during the war. I could be wrong about that. Could be more Ford trucks. I don't know. But so I know of those two major industries, and I believe there's a bunch of others, but that goes always notice my language. Know and believe. Sometimes I believe, sometimes I know. It's so I know of Ford being there, Opel or GM being there. And that is not a question in my mind. Okay, well, we got Zaragoza, which gets us supplies, which hopefully will help our supply situation here. Now, we're going to send these guys to here because we're going to push on that one that's next. Once we get done demonstrating that we're going to hold Zaragoza. Now, planned economies, since we're talking about economies. I know, and I talk about TIK because I watch some of his stuff, and I know he's very influential. A bunch of you guys watch his stuff who watch my videos. He has his ideology. And as he's talked about, he started out on sort of left socialist and moved more and more market capitalist, shall we say. And he even postulates, well, if you could do war on a market basis, like give every command a bunch of counters or money, just sort of, special war money. And does the general want to spend it on fuel or on ammunition, or half the money on ammunition, half the money on fuel, and how much money on more recruits for his division, and sort of like that. And then as something becomes more and more rare, fuel or ammunition or recruits, the cost of them goes up. And so that would sort of better decide how to run a war. I disagree with that, because that's looking at that division's and then of course you could have corps commanders that have certain monies, and army commanders that have certain monies, and army group commanders have, yeah, I understand, but you really shouldn't plan your resource space out equally between Army Group North and Army Group Center and Army Group South, and just who pays for what better, blah, 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 market this, when really you need a centralized command to go, we're pushing in the North, or we're pushing in the South, or we're just holding the line, or we're doing whatever. So warfare needs to be a command economy. Now, you can have competing elements, the Army versus the Navy versus the Air Force, and within the Air Force, how many fighters versus bombers. If all you have are fighters, well, great, but, and even if, you can attach a bomb, drop it below a fighter, but it may not work so well. So, having all fighters, well, but if you don't have any fighters, if you just have all bombers, they'll just be shot down by enemy fighters. So, you need to sort of balance out production, and things will never work right. The central planning will never be 100% for whatever happens. But you need a certain level of centralized planning for warfare. But that is for a limited time, for a highly specific activity that without it, you're dead. Meaning without winning the war, you're dead. So you've got to win the war. And so other things like civilian clothes, civilian whatever, for a time being, a lot of those products they can do without, because presumably all civilians, there's clothes out there for them. They could trade them around, used clothes, they can trade them around. Baby clothes, well, they grow out of them, you can trade them around. So you don't, for a number of years. Now, 30, 40 years, no. But for 3 or 4 years, yes, command economies work. So if today, let's say they got some sort of tokamak engine and they got some sort of warping technology and we could go to the stars, but to actually move large populations, it'll need to build big ships in space. And, it's mostly not like space tourism, but space colonization. And it may be like, oh, hey, we've got instead of on a destructive path of building warships, maybe we'll need to build big colony ships that will go back and forth, between the stars and take 2 or 3 months to go there and to drop off 5,000 people a time or something. That may take a lot of focused energy, either nationally or transnationally, a lot of focused research, a lot of whatever. That would be a command economy, and that might be very good for humanity to do said activities. But that's for a limited time and for a specialist goal like that could come about. And so it doesn't have to be a war, but it could be something like this. Otherwise, economies, yes, are definitely done better for markets. So, because for markets, you have so many different customers with different goals. And that is just sort of the way it, I think, should be / is. Planned economies are shit and prone to corruption. GDR, yes, absolutely. But that's a planned, sustained economy, as opposed to a temporary direct thing. Watching the video on Rommel's first battles when I got here, and you are both expressing Kampfgruppe simultaneously. Well, cool. To a certain extent, you can check out that sort of theory by looking at the East India Company, Mercs in the Congo and Blackwater, and even, technically Scipio Africanus led a private invasion of Carthage. I don't know enough about Scipio to know. I know who he was for sure, but and that he's the one that defeated Carthage and all, but don't know enough about that, whether it was private or not. Yeah, mercenaries, but mercenaries are if you're looking at the Congo mercenaries as opposed security companies, like Blackwater and sometimes Wagner, though they're sort of doing other things now. When Katanga or the Congo as a whole were hiring mercenaries, there really isn't much dollars other than hiring the initial guys to come in, and I would not say so. I would not say it's that. The East India Company, and it depends on when you're talking, when the East India Company is ruling. So before the Indian Mutiny, early on with Clive of India, there's a lot of British Army forces moving around there, and actual British National Army forces, as well as early East India Company. It would be a mix of British and Indian officers with primarily Indian troopers for locally raised units. There would be a few sort of militia types around units that are made up of European East India personnel that were more of a if things go to hell, we show up with our muskets here, but otherwise they have a day job. Later in the East India Company, leading up to the post-Napoleonic period, they've purged the Indians from the officer class of the Indian Army, mainly in the 19th century. And that continues for most units through to the end, though not all units. So yeah, loads of condattori. Yeah, but those are still. Oh, I would not go that those are. Those are hired units, but they're not. They're not like that. I wouldn't say like the chips. They're huge. Yeah. Oh yeah, they've had. Yeah, but that's once you hired them. Once you go, hey, mercenary unit hired by some city state, they become part of your military supply system. They become, not a core element of your national army, but they're not like going, oh hey, we need more armor, more swords or something. No, when they go marching off and needing food, going off into the field, the main whatever, and there's very poor levels of supply and logistics, and a very much raiding the countryside or whatever for food. Yes, I'll totally admit to that, but it's not like some organized economic, like they're bidding, oh well, we'll pay $1 per chicken. No, he'll pay, that unit pays $2 per chicken. No, they're just going out and ransacking the countryside equally with each friendly unit trying to ransack the countryside before the other friendly unit gets to that patch of territory or something. So I don't see it as the same as that. Hey Eric, how you doing, my friend? I don't know enough about Garibaldi to comment on his on any particular campaign. Obviously, I do know that he is the unifier of Italy, under a modern sense. But beyond that, read a few things here and there. Okay, on Garibaldi and some battles, but that's many years ago. So, a reminder to everybody here, if you're new, whether on YouTube or Twitch or Rumble or wherever I'm streaming, please follow or subscribe to the channel. You can like the videos if you so desire. That would really help me out. Love to see you guys around more often. I stream mostly for myself here on Saturday and Sunday, and it's Hearts of Iron on Saturday. We will get back to some multiplayer campaigns of Hearts of Iron, but for the next probably 2 weeks or more, we'll be doing Black Ice. Now, I'll keep the Black Ice campaign going even if we do a multiplayer one live, just because I can, record them off live. Stay on topic, probably a little better, but okay. So our tank design bureau capabilities, or vehicle 39, and improved tank design. That's a long time. Okay, so we probably don't want to do that just yet. Now we'll wait a bit. We're doing gasoline engines. I don't know that we're gonna do diesel engine. Torsion bar. Because otherwise, well, now let's come over here. Okay, this one needs. Okay, fire. Okay, we have yet to get to here. So this is. I know right around now. I think on folks' list had me researching this, but we've got to get through all of these, and we're slowly getting there. So that's going to be a bit later, I think, to get through. There. So back to here. I think we can wait one thing, and let's do this. Let's do that, and then we'll switch over to that. Supply bandwagons of the Dutch. 80 years worth, more or less, of credit. And let's see what sort of divisions we have. I still could use, if you ever get bored, Eric, I still could use a video on that shorts thing. If you ever get bored. Okay. Well, now this is another thing here is we could do for 10 gross. It's after June, West Berlin. Yeah, let's do that military build up there. And the other thing, which is reminding me here, I'm not used to doing this. Is it here? No, is it? Oh, it's here. We can look at some of the SS divisions that we can continue. We can go from the 2 regiments to here. Did it pull the units off the map? Nothing else yet. Over here. Let's see what we have here. Yes, it looks like we organize the Watts trooping. So now we have. No, that isn't it. Okay, this is a brigade. Okay. Totenkopf units are still around. Okay, so now we have a brigade there. It gives blueprints for this. Well, then why haven't I been able to research it when I've tried to in the past? Folk, I've tried to in the past and it just wouldn't let me do it. Okay, sure. Whenever you, I mean, it's not a real rush, but I am sort of waiting on that. It's just when you can. Because I want to edit the one video that I thought was good. Just wanted to take a few seconds out of it. Well, after this KDF wagon, we'll try to see if I can do that again. Okay, you guys come to the city. You guys come back to here. We want to come through this railroad to the sea. Nordic-Baltic Economic Cooperation Agreement. Okay. No, I'm gonna go there. Focus. Okay, KDF wagons. We got more Tour de France, 1937. Well, if it'll let me do this, start. Okay, well, it is letting me do it. It didn't let me do it before, so I don't know what. I don't know. Maybe I was just doing something wrong. But yes, we'll do that now. Build another civilian factory. Keep that going. Seems like a decent balance between the two. Amelia Earhart survives this time. Okay. We join back into the fight. Push. The Empire of Great Japan declared war on the Republic of China. I don't know what the Empire of Great Japan means, but okay. We now can do another. Put that up there. All right. Well. Okay. Let's come over here and click this. And I do want to start producing these. I know it's maybe more of a want compared to a need. That, well, heavy artillery, we need a bunch more of that, but we also need horse transport by a lot. And light artillery, we need a bunch of. And some motor vehicles and some other things we need, but I want those. Miss? Oh, it was great while you were gone. Oh, wait a minute, that was because you were gone. No. Dispersed industry research is finished. Okay, so we have dispersed industry. Construction, which will unlock this, so I think we will do this. Political power, Norway gains political power, German Reich, civilian intelligence. Okay, so joint industrial policy with Norway. Well, maybe we should try a not totally narrow approach, but okay. Marco Polo Bridge incident. Bulgaria requests German arms. They're on their own. 2,000 units of carabiner, 98 birds added to the national stock. 2,000. How much do I have in rifles right now? I do believe it is a positive number. Infantry equipment 6,000, and yeah, it'll take some of the newer ones. Okay, we'll do this. Very well, we'll help them. Yeah, I'm sure we will, but I just figured I might as well start with getting the Panzer III in production. But thanks for the tip. Oh. Attack the mountains with tanks. It always goes well. Trust me. Trust me. Tanks actually should help a bit. Armor should just always help a bit. But good mountain divisions or whatever would be great too. Okay, well, we're outside of the Madrid. Now, if we just taken Madrid, the capital will just bounce to somewhere else, which might be easier to take, but I do want to cut off this area over here because we should be able to. I want this unit. There we go. Support that attack. Achtung Panzer. Okay, very good. Alright, let's go back and look at folks' lists here. KDF Wagon, Expand Opel, Deutsches Arbeitsfront. We've already got some of that. Achtung Panzer, Lich Panzer Division, Soviet Treaty, Reich Arbeitsdienst. Okay, so, yeah, research bonuses, Panzer duty, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we'll just do that just to get this out of the way. We still have some of those to benefit from. Go back into, I don't know what was pushing those guys out, but let's... Okay, elastic defense. Well, that will help our heavily panzered forces here. Yeah, let's do fire brigades. Now that we have that. Okay, oh, you need to go into the mountains, don't you? And Panzer Division. Support that attack. Have to go into the mountains yourself, but... Let's just cut that railway. Oh, that ought to do much, but we'll just cut that. French Republic trade relations. I don't care. Need to embargo 80. I don't want to go so deep that I get cut off, so I'm retreating back out. But I just wanted to sort of like mess with them a bit. Come on, attack here. Okay, Yugoslavia, purchase grain, consumer goods down. No, thank you. All right. Okay, so yeah, let's do the A's. Now, I really like this, in that we can have a max currently. Oh, we have total capacity for use, total use. Oh, maybe, okay, total tank assembly capacity per plant. Maybe we need more tank production. Looks like we're still green, okay. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Okay, let's now see this. Yeah, this is better. Okay, that we can do. Okay, well then, since we do have rubber enough, let's add another bomber line, or another bomber there for production use. Okay. We'll do that. Let's see. Naval. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, worrying Portugal breaks diplomatic relations with Czechoslovakia. Don't know why that's worrying, but okay, Panzer II light armor. Okay. So, vehicle factories, which are nice. Okay. What's the date here? January, after January. Okay, so 38. So it's a ways away. 28 days, another naval dockyard would be nice, and we'll get there, but 3 military factories. Autobahn takes 3 years to take full effect. Okay. Yep, we'll do that. We'll do Reich Autobahn. So let's get that going there, I guess. Yes. Well, no. Let's send in the infantry division. I know you're not well organized, and you're going to support the attack. No. Yeah, support the attack. I want to get to the sea. Come on. Drive in there. Come on, they're retreating. Infantry division march into there. Yeah, I know they're coming back with some. Okay, well, you guys here attack there to pin these guys. I know you're going to lose, but just give them time to get in. And give them time for the infantry to get in, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Where they can trench themselves and push them out. Hong Kong Typhoon. You push into against the militia there. Add you back to here now. Okay. Reich Autobahn, very good. Now let's take a look over here. Do we have, whether it's Reich Autobahn, increase operatives? Maybe what we could do for that. Not October yet. Yeah, just political or command power. We got, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it now. Almost to the coast. Yep, we're getting there. We're getting there. Well, soft attack. And she'll just look straight up. Oh, well, there's tank research cost. Yeah, I guess. Okay, and let's do west wall now. Nylon conference, okay, whatever. Maybe I should read some of these. Foreign volunteers, great. I was sort of kind of hoping Spain you to join me on some of these attacks. Oh, looks like they are now. Good. Ah, let's see. Well, I know we need it, so let's do another couple of here for horses and wagons and whatnot. Hey, Jan or Extreme Finger, how you doing today? Well, I think we will end the episode here. I hope everyone has had fun. I've been having fun playing it, but man, I'm getting hungry, so I need to eat. So, please keep it up. Please tell your friends about how great this is. If you have friends, sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry, my mistake. You're a Hearts of Iron player. You don't got any friends. Sorry. Wish you did. I wish I did, but you know. Oh, yeah, I know there's a few people we talk to on the internet, but you know, real friends. But hey, love to see you guys around more often. So thank you all. I'm having a blast playing this. See you next time for more, yes, even more Hearts of Iron.